I'm going to talk about my experiences with sleep paralysis. It started when I was about 16 to 17. This was when I started questioning like things in a different manner. My mind started changing, drawn more to like the philosophical and spiritual side of life. But anyways, I'm laying in bed one night, and I wake up out of my dream, and I notice that I can't move, and everything seems dark, and I feel like this heaviness. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? And it's like this fear that I've never felt before, except maybe when I was very young, when everything's more intense and you're very scared of the littlest things. It was like that. And I was not used to anything like this. I look to my bed's facing the doorway to my room. I look at the door, and the shadow figure just appears right there. And it has glowing red eyes. It kind of looks like the Dementors from Harry Potter, if you've seen it, or Slender Man or something like that. And it glides towards me like the creepiest thing. It's not even walking. And it's standing over me. And at this point, my heart's probably beating 150 beats a minute. I'm trying to scream, nothing's coming out. Scream for my parents, writhe around to fight it or run, who knows. And it leans over me and it gets really close to my face, about that. It's looking right at me, and then I can move and it disappears. That was my first experience. After that, I wanted to run into my parents' room at 16 or 17-year-old and say, "Mom, Dad, I had a nightmare. Can I sleep with you guys?" Of course, I didn't do that. I had a few more over up until, I'm going to skip to when I went to college. I went for a semester only. I had a few more up until then of similar things. I had one where I kept waking up again and again into sleep paralysis. I thought it was going to last forever. Anyways, I'm in college, and I ran out of money and weed, and I smoked a lot back then. And my dreams started getting really vivid because I stopped smoking weed. And I was having like a lot of nightmares, and then one night I just knew I was going to have sleep paralysis, so I sleep in my bed. You can kind of feel it after you've had it for a while, when you're about to have it. I'm in my bed, I'm sleeping facing the wall, and I feel something get in my bed from behind me. And I feel like I'm in sleep paralysis. Everything has that dark vibe. I feel like I can't move. And I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? And at some point, I kind of waited. It wasn't long, like 5-10 seconds. It never lasts too long. I feel like I can move. And I was already thinking, like, dude, what if some crazy person came into my room and is like in my bed, like some freak? I jab my elbow back behind me. There's nothing there. I turn around. Bed's empty. That was pretty freaky, guys. So after college, I left after a semester. I wasn't doing anything there. I was just using a lot of drugs. And after I left, I started working. I wanted to travel, but I got real into drugs at this point, and the traveling didn't happen till a few years later. Hold on one second. One of the drugs I would use was nitrous oxide. And if you've ever seen those whipped cream dispensers, they're like metallic cylinders. They have them at Starbucks. Shoot out whipped cream. The cartridges you use in there is nitrous oxide. And it's laughing gas. So I was really into that. And one day, I take a nap, I fall asleep, and in my dream, this wasn't even a sleep paralysis, this is more like a dream, but I was paralyzed in the dream. I used to sleep with in the same room as my brother. So I'm in my bed, and I'm facing the left. I'm on my stomach, and his bed's over there. And at this point, he wasn't even in the room, nor was his bed. His bed's over to the left, and I have my empty whipped cream dispenser on the bed, and I see this black, like mangy, clawed hand reach up from the other side of the bed, take the whipped cream dispenser, pull it over to the other side. Then I hear the gas go, and this laugh, this evil laugh, and this like shadow, the thing that took it, the demon, the shadow figure, it flies out from the other side of my brother's bed onto my back, starts pushing on my back. I can't breathe. Then it starts molesting me, like jacking me off, and I feel like so gross and so awful. And it gets in my ear and it whispers, "You'll never know true happiness." And for a while, guys, I believed that. It kind of fucked me up for a bit, and I was like a drug addict at this point too, so I thought I was just screwed for forever. So I'll fast forward a couple more years, or like another year, and I got clean from drugs. And I still am. I got clean and I started getting really into like meditation and spirituality, and I got to a point where I was having vivid dreams and like frequent nightmares for like probably a couple months straight. One of them, this was the first one where I started like fighting these creatures. I'm in my dream and I become lucid. I'm hanging out with my buddies, Ryan and Nathan, and we're all on the couch playing video games or something like that. And I tell them, I'm like, "Yo, we're dreaming." And they're like, "Nah, dude, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "We're dreaming. We can do anything that, I can do anything right now. It's all a dream. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm the controller of this." And my buddy Ryan's like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, really? Like, I'll prove it." He's like, "No." I'm like, "Watch." And I like levitate to the ceiling and go back down. He's like, "No, man." And I was like, "Yeah." He gets angrier and angrier. "No, no." And then he just screams it, "No." He turns into one of the shadow figures and casts me out of the dream. And I go into this other dream with this guy from my high school I never really talked to. And I tried the same thing on him. I'm telling him it's a dream. It's a dream. He does the same thing, casts me out. This time I just wake up. So then I realized, like, dude, like these things are in my dreams, and like they don't like you knowing that it's a dream, or you telling them. Either one, can't figure it out. The next dream I have, where I encounter one in the dream, I'm hanging out with one of my old buddies, Mick, that I used drugs with, and I was riding in my car, and he was in the passenger seat, and we're like talking, and then I just realized, I'm like, wait, I'm dreaming. I'm like, shit, dude, I can't let him know I'm dreaming. And then he like read my thoughts, because as soon as I thought it, he like looked at me weird. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. He reaches over, grabs my right arm, and it turns into like just this like evil face. And I was like, oh man. And I shake, I wake up, I'm in my bed, and I'm paralyzed for a second, and I see the shadow figure over me, sucking this like white light out of my mouth, like energy, dude. Like he's stealing my energy. I knew these things were real at this point. I looked into them before, and then, doctors, psychologists will pass it off as hypnagogic hallucinations. You're in a hypnotic state right after or before sleep where you can have hallucinations. There's a little more to it than that. That's all I remember. I always thought that was bullshit, dude. I mean, I'm experiencing this stuff firsthand. So, I start having these dreams pretty frequently in this month, and I start trying to fight these demons. I try like fist fighting them, but my fist wouldn't move. I tried that a couple times, and then in the next one I tried shooting through one, like Neo when he shoots through the agent in the Matrix. That kind of just like stunned him a bit, like if he got punched in the chest or something, but it didn't do too much. He ended up beating me that night, the demon. And then the one night I beat the demon, and this is what I did. I I summoned the energy, like the divine energy, the creator, the universe, everything, whatever you want to call it, the white light. I summoned it into my body, and I put my hand on this demon, and it just goes to the ground. And it's not me who's doing it. I don't want you to think I'm some like powerful being. It's you need to use. I could never defeat this. I have to use the source, the power which created all. I put my hand on this demon, and it push it to the ground, and it's just turning into this black puddle spilling over. And I was so happy after that. I thought I made a huge breakthrough. I told my buddy I was so excited. I haven't done it since though. It's hard to, after that like little bout of having lucid dreams, I haven't had as many. And I haven't had a whole ton of experiences, sleep paralysis experiences like that since then. That's most of my experiences. 2 years later, I'm living with my friend, sharing a house with him, and I was laying in bed, and I can feel the sleep paralysis coming on. So I kind of know it's coming before I fall asleep. I close my eyes and I feel myself. I'm paralyzed. I feel the presence. I just keep my eyes closed, man. If you're not scared, they have nothing to eat. They eat the energy, like the bad energy, your fear, stuff like that. So if you're not scared, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to open my eyes because that's going to make me scared if I see this thing. I just kind of lay there and let it do whatever. And it starts whipping me around the room. I just have this sensation of like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like a crazy roller coaster. I just keep my cool. I'm